Beloved Prime Creator, what a miracle this is, and that we are a part of it, the I Am. By our awareness of our I Am presence, we thank you for investing us with functions to take action for what we see, hear, and feel to not be in keeping with our divinity. Blessed are we for these gifts of conscious awareness. And we thank you for entrusting us to use these gifts to our best abilities, for we know it is about awareness of Source, about honoring and defending that against those who choose evil over goodness and that which sustains life. May it be so, and so it is.
My name's Ron Vroman. I'm the old white man talking head for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. This is an after action or a download on the United States Marine Corps. We think we have the answer based on a preponderance of evidence that the agency responsible for the peace, safety, and happiness and Article 4, Section 4 of the United States of America's Constitution, which is the first law of the land, we think that that document is the founding document, and it was set aside, as were our unalienable rights, when they decided not to reconstitute the several states into a constitutional Republican form of government, but they decided to start a de facto government and put the industrial military bar banker into the driver's seat instead of the people. And they did a really good job. I'm pretty smart, and they had me fooled until 2014. I was 75 years old when I found out about this stuff. Whoa, what a surprise. So, in our efforts to bring Oregon to a constitutional Republican form of government, we removed the de facto executive, legislative, and judicial from Oregon lawfully and established a de jure provisional government on Oregon last November. We're having a really difficult time finding the proper way to enforce de jure over de facto. And in doing so, we've determined that to move, for an example, a sheriff from the de jure to the from the de facto to the de jure, they must take a lawful oath that includes both the lawful constitutions and God. The only lawful oaths that we've been able to find are the ones used by the military, specifically the Marine Corps. The officers and men of the Marine Corps have a proper oath. And it's been more or less the same since 1775. I haven't been able to find all the details on that, But we can be pretty sure that if you're looking for an oath, which we are, the proper one is found in the Marine Corps. I'm not saying they're not in other places. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm saying that I know when I talk to a Marine, I'm talking to a man or woman that has an oath to a proper constitution. Whether they do their duty or not is something entirely different. They may be doing their duty as they see it and as they have been taught. But as I found out when I was 75, what I had been taught was a lie. Maybe a lot of them are following a lie also because they don't know. So I started down the trail of the Marine Corps in 2017 when we were starting this thing because I thought it was the provost marshal that was in charge. And then from the provost marshal, I went to Law Enforcement Investigation and Correction Branch. At the time, it was run by a Colonel Bernard Hess. He's since retired. And the best I can figure out is the former Commandant of the Marine Corps, not Smith, but the one before Smith. And my old brain won't recall it. Damn. Anyhow, that commandant has started a process of removing Marines from the provost marshal. And they've done away with the Law Enforcement Investigation and Correction Branch, which used to be 4 law enforcement battalions. The only law enforcement battalion left in the Marine Corps is 4th Law, and that's in New Mexico. Their phone number yeah, 505-604-2679. Then the Provost Marshal, 4th Law, and the security battalions of the Marine Corps all convinced me that they are not the division or department within the Marine Corps with an oath that is responsible for providing us with peace, safety, and happiness, and Article 4, Section 4 of the United States of America's Constitution, which is a constitutional Republican form of government, original jurisdiction. That department, those departments of the Marine Corps say they're not the ones. Okay, I buy it. Then I tried JAG, Judge Advocate General, and they tell me they're not the ones either. Then I tried the Inspector General for the Marine Corps, and they gave it a good look. They really did. It was difficult to get the paperwork into them, and I don't think that they did their proper job, but I can't say that they didn't look. They looked, and they looked good, and they got a lot of information, and it was good information. During this period of time, I've contacted the senior_leader_help_desk U.S. Marine Corps.mil as one input for the information we have. The other one was orgmb.igmc.hotline@usmc.mil. And another one is on the record www.usmc.mil, and also 3rd MAW, which is the 3rd Marine Air Wing, their inspector, but it's not inspector general, it's just inspector. So that's a different, I think, area of inserting the information. After they got the information, and it was a tough chore getting it into them, they did not want to get it. After that, a guy named Jural 703-604-4519, a captain in the U.S. Marine Corps Inspector General Division, and had a good talk with him. He actually sees the email that come into orgmb.igmc.hotline. And now that I'm on Proton for email, encrypted, that I'm sending so that the receiver knows I'm not sending them any virus or anything like that, they'll actually receive my emails, allegedly. So along the line, I'm looking at all of the divisions of the Commandant of the Marine Corps, and golly, there's a lot of them. OPP, Plans and Operations, JAG, Inspector General, Provost Marshal, Security, Law Enforcement Battalion. It's not like we're not looking. All of those places have been thoroughly examined. There's a division in the Marine Corps called Manpower Management. 703-784-9300. They actually know where each individual Marine is and what their nearest phone number is. Every one of them. And they can even do retired. So I talked to a guy there. Actually, I've probably talked to 25 people there. One female Marine told me, Ron, we're all sitting in a large room with cubicles. We all know what everybody's doing, and you've talked to almost all of us here. We can't give you any more help. We don't know. So, Gerald Koval said, it's not the IG's problem. We do not have jurisdiction. Nobody says it's not the Marine Corps, but they say we don't have jurisdiction. So we've determined that the Commandant of the Marine Corps actually has jurisdiction to original jurisdiction of the original Constitution in the de jure law form, if you can find the right person, first person singular of people, if you can find the right one, they will have to assume their responsibility and fulfill their obligation to their oath. That's what I think. If there's actually a white hat division, group, or order functioning within the Marine Corps, we know that guys like Miley and others are, if not evil, they are just really doing wicked stuff. And he's a 4-star general. So finding a 2- and 3-star general in charge of a division or a group or a branch that is actually wearing a white hat and will do his job and fulfill his responsibility might be a little tough. I talked to a colonel today. Nice guy, smart. I won't throw him under the bus. An aviator, a tailhook aviator. I think he flew backseat in fighter jets. He had a squadron at Miramar. Nice guy. 20 some years in the Corps, full colonel, hasn't been 3 years in grade yet. So I asked him, what's the chances of making general? He says 3% of the colonels make general. 97% of all colonels retire as colonel. I wonder what percent of lieutenant colonels do the same because they can't get over the hump to make colonel. I haven't checked that out yet. But I spoke to him long and hard, and I got the opportunity to tell him everything that was going on. And he did his job. He told me what the phone number for Captain Stenger is. Captain Stenger is the captain that told us what happened to General Eric Smith, that he went to the hospital, but not why he went to the hospital and not what the medical emergency was. But if he's speaking for the general from the communications division branch or portion of the Marine Corps, he's pretty far up there. He talks with the people that talk with the general that is commandant of the Marine Corps. And he said to me today, after trying for several days to get a hold of him and having his correct phone number that he won't answer, and having his correct email that he won't answer, and it works if you know their name and their middle initial, you can send an email to any Marine and he'll get it. So anyhow, I called him up today. Jim, what's going on? My name's Ron Vroman from the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. Do you have time to talk now? No, I don't. I'm going out right now. I have to leave right now. But I did get your emails. He got the information and he got it through on the record. And he got it through his own email. And he doesn't want to talk to me. So I'm going to share that information with several people on the action committee and see if he'll talk to any of them. But we're still on the right track. We have not gotten a no from the Marine Corps. We get no's from persons and people in different departments or division of the Marine Corps. And I think it's going to be a department or division of the Marine Corps that was in existence in December of 1860. I don't think they had a JAG then. I know they didn't have an aviation department. I think they had rifle companies. I think that's about where it is. So plans and operations seems like a good option to me. But I'm going to keep looking for all the 2 and 3 star generals that report to the 4-star general, Eric M. Smith, Commandant of the Marine Corps. because they have a responsibility for our peace, safety, and happiness. And I'm going to hold their feet to the fire. And I yield.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying. Then he jumps out of the car, and he's got both his hands up. And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, just shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I saw it. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, they shot him 3 more times.